the Trevor Jackson Podcast.
Hey, if y'all tapped into this episode 3, I really appreciate y'all because y'all appreciate the content, the creativity of the show, and salute to y'all, man. Thank y'all. But so far, we talked about the death of O.J. Simpson. We talked about the death of Rico Wade, an Atlanta super producer with the Dungeon family. We talked about the DJ in New York, man. And he was a great individual. He founded Notorious Big. He founded Big Daddy Kane. He founded a plethora of individuals, and salute to that brother, man. But on this episode, I want to give a different type of perspective. You know what I mean? We covered a lot of things. I want to talk about the polls that was, you know what I mean, put up on the platform. I put a couple of polls up on the platform, and y'all reacted in a tremendous way, a heavy way. You know, this one has 900 votes so far, but it's on its way to 1,000. And it's West Coast movies. This poll is talking about which movie from the West Coast is the best. I'm going to go ahead and read it to y'all and show y'all the clip or whatever. But Menace to Society came in with 10% of the votes. Friday had 70% of the votes. Boys in the Hood had 14% of the votes, and South Central had 6% of the votes out of 907 votes. And thank y'all for the 14 comments and 20 shares and 40 likes and everything to keep me in the algorithm. I really appreciate y'all though. But my point of view of this thing is like, Friday most definitely was the dopest movie out of all of this because it had the street element, the gangster element. It had, you know what I mean? It had the bully in it. It had all of the flavor of the West Coast. It's still iconic. Like, people go to LA just to take pictures in front of that house. And it's like a tourist spot when you do go to LA. And it's in a weird place, to be honest. But all of those movies are iconic. Like, when the West Coast displayed the culture of hip hop and the culture of the West Coast, they do it better than anybody. To me, better than the South and better than the East Coast from a movie perspective. But salute to Friday for being the best movie and getting the most votes out of that poll. Now, this poll shocked me. This poll really shocked me. I said, if you're going on an hour ride, out of these 4 albums, which one are you playing on that hour ride? And these are classics. These are probably 2 of these albums on this list are in my top 5. Now, the poll is Kanye West, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. It got 19% of the votes. Nas, Stillmatic, got 16% of the votes. J. Cole, Forest Hill Drive, got 49% of the votes. Jay-Z, Blueprint, got 16% of the votes out of 306 votes. And that's spooky for J. Cole to have 49% of the votes. Is that recency bias? Is that because that's the most recent album? Because to me, those other 3 albums are some of the best music ever created in hip hop ever. Nas, Stillmatic, Kanye, MBDTF, Jay-Z, The Blueprint. Come on now. Is J. Cole album really riding like that? Or is it because of where I'm located at in the Carolinas? And I guess most people are seeing this video in the Carolinas. What are y'all perception on that? What's y'all thoughts about that? Because those are some dope projects. And thank y'all if you voted on the poll. If you check out this podcast and you voted on the poll, I highly appreciate y'all. But we're going to get into the conversation, man. This isn't going to be about the beef or what happened this week or who dissed who or whatever. We did that on episodes 1 and 2. This is episode 3, even though it's still a pop shit and apologize beef type of conversation. Now, I want to talk about this guy that my boy Scoop turned me on to. If y'all familiar with the podcast, I always talk about my nigga Scoop, man. That's a real deal, brother. I always talk about Troy. I always talk about T Reezy, Jack Boy. Them boys have participated to this channel a lot to help me evolve to where I'm at today. We monetize, we making money. We damn near making a living over here on this channel. And I just want to tell them boys, thank y'all. But Marquise Scoop, he turned me on to this guy, Aristotle Investments, because he's big in the trading world, the day trading world, and the investments and the stocks. And so far, he has created a podcast, and he has had Dr. Umar Johnson on. He has had Charleston White on. And they brought up a topic of discussion about teachers, and to me about public officials and people that is public servants. They serve the public. They gave a great topic about this. And Charleston White, he trolls a lot. He talks about death and Gilly the kid's son dying and all type of crazy shit, man. But this was an interesting topic, and I'm gonna give y'all my point of view after I play the clip.
Do you believe that teachers should be paid more?
Yeah, teachers, firefighters, policemen, nurses, and crossguard walkers should be paid more. The right teacher with the right spirit, what she do in third grade can equip you and impact you, homie, to overcome whatever obstacles to graduate from school. Your teachers can make your parents see things that they can't see in you because they have a gift. And not only do they have a gift, they spend a lot of time with your baby. So why wouldn't we want to reward the people that's dealing with our most vulnerable population, the ones that we benefit the most from?
It's like we got the taxes for it. Stop sending money to Israel. Stop sending money to Ukraine. Let's spend these tax dollars on encouraging more teachers.
Treat them like the politician. Give them the same benefits that the politician get.
That's an interesting take, right? That's an interesting take. But I'm going to tell y'all something. Teachers, policemen, firefighters that's out here, that'll never happen. I ain't gonna cap to you, dog. That's never gonna happen, nigga. America is set up to the point to where we need people to serve for a lower wage. If you're not willing to serve for a lower wage, then you have to value yourself to the point to where you're going to do something different. I look at public officials, I look at mayors, I look at senators, I look at all people that have a high position that is working as public servants, and they're not getting paid what people think they deserve to be paid. Police officers in Charlotte, North Carolina is making $47,000 a year, like $23 an hour, to deal with all of the stuff that they deal with. I don't think it's worth it. That's not even a livable wage here. You can't even buy a home making that type of money. Not in this city, not in a metropolitan city, no metropolitan city in the country. You can make $48,000 and own a home. If I'm wrong, put me in check, y'all. Real talk. Now, teachers, though, it's true that they deserve more money. But why will we give it to them? Just think about the perspective of the person that's paying the teachers. Why will we give it to them? You are serving the public. You're doing a good by the people. You watching their kids for 8 hours a day. You might know more about the kids than the parent do. But we don't have to pay you because this is what you choose to do. I was looking at, I talked to Judge Joe Brown about the guy that got killed in Memphis. The black guy that got killed by the black police officers, and how the police officers spoke. How they was talking to him like he was just like they were street niggas. The police officers, that's how they was talking to the guy who they killed or whatever. And when I think about that, it makes me think about this conversation of the wages. They're not hiring quality. They don't even care to put quality in those type of positions of firemen, police officer, and teachers. So if you accept that job, you accept that wage, you have to deal with it. Now let's go on to the last topic of the week, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in to this week. Salute to my dog T Reezy for participating in this show. Now I want to talk to y'all about Meek Mill, man. He has been going through some crazy stuff as of recently. Some stuff that a PR could help him with. Public relations. I think a lot of these artists that become celebrities off of being signed to record labels don't understand the value in a record label until they're not on a record label no more. And if you become successful independently, salute to you. Salute to Young Dolph. Salute to Master P. Salute to a lot of individuals who became successful independently. But if you were successful when you had a deal and you had these teams over here, this jobs over here, these people that's watching your tweets and watching your Instagram posts, and they guarding this and they guarding that, then you needed that for a reason. The reason I say that is because Meek Mill been going on a tangent on X lately. Twitter was used to be known as Twitter. He been going on a tangent, like going off on Cruz, his engineer, going off on Wale, talking about his son thinks that he's gay because all of these allegations on the internet, because his son on the internet. People, his son, like, damn, Pops, you gay? You slept with Diddy? Oh my God, I don't know how I would deal with that. But he went on a tangent like this week, tweeting up something like, he's still tweeting. He tweeting right now while I'm on the podcast recording. This nigga got a tweet every hour. So he got into an argument with Cruz. Cruz is his engineer. One that made all the hits. Cruz went on a platform and he talked about what he regrets and what you should do when opportunity knocks at your door.
Do have regrets that I have to live with. Whatever I've gone through that I don't like, I'm responsible for me. I'm responsible for taking care of my family and everything else. And having said that, I understand why at the time I was so pressed on moving the way that I did. We don't have opportunity to hit rewind. Guru called me when they were working on the Beyonce Hove album, and he's like, Cruz, I need you to come to Paris, couple weeks. I just need you for a few weeks. And we had just started the very, very beginning of what would become championships. Yeah. And I dubbed it. I didn't even think twice. Yeah. And that is a big thing that I have to carry and deal with. Yeah. That I would tell a youngin' coming up under me, go to Paris, bro. Who knows the doors that would have opened taking that trip, that I could have still juggled both opportunities, right? I don't know, because I had a fear of like, what would be the mentality of like, yo, give me like a couple weeks experience that's going to bring me my first Grammy.
The Trevor Jackson Podcast.
I'm a think about that from both sides and both perspectives. And I want y'all to think about that. What would y'all have done if that was y'all in that position? Think about Cruz's position. He had the opportunity to go work with Guru, Jay-Z, and Beyonce to be a part of the engineering team for the album that they created that won a Grammy. And he felt as if he needed to stay back with Meek to finish up Championships, which is Meek Mill's best album, which is 3 times platinum. Okay. If I'm Meek Mill, I want you to stay back and help me with my album. We got to keep the momentum going. But I'm not going to hinder my people from my opportunity. You know, that's a lot of people's faults. You got to be careful of who you hang around and who you deal with, because people won't want to see you evolve. People will want to keep you where you at. Me, if Cruz was my engineer, let's go to Paris. If I'm Meek, let's go to Paris too. I'm going with you. We're going to keep recording. We're going to keep it popping. We're going to keep shaking. We're going to keep doing our thing. And you can also work with Beyonce and Hove, man. I want you to win. We're a team. A lot of people don't look at things like that as like unified. There go that word again. Unified. Teammates. Teamwork. A lot of individuals are thinking selfishly. And I really don't support that, to be honest with you. That's just not who I am. But when opportunity knocks, you got to take advantage of it, no matter who you hurt, no matter what position you in, who feelings you hurt. Forget folks, man. You got to keep doing what you got to do. That you got to look out for your best interest. So Meek went on that Twitter rant that I talked about, and this is what he had to say to Cruz. I love Cruz, but this is bad advice. Championships triple platinum. When I met Cruz, he was at the store. He was a store runner. I needed an engineer and started using him every day. To say you would get up and leave for Jay-Z is insane to me, but it's a new world. It's not insane to me, dog. I wouldn't leave you for Jay-Z and Beyonce. I would take the opportunity and come back. Imagine building an engineer up, teaching him the precepts, working for years, and to hear them say they would have went to Paris instead of working on what we built. Sound like Jay-Z groupies. Jay, my family. Y'all be selling yourselves short and may never even make it to him. He had the opportunity to make it to him, dog, but he stayed back to rock with you. You know, like I was saying before I even played the tweet or whatever, man, it comes to a point to where you got to separate yourself from people who don't want to see you evolve. Meek also, you know what I mean, went crazy on Wale. I want to talk about something because on episode part 2 of this episode, I played the Rick Ross diss, and I think about clicks and crews of that era, that 2015 era, when Rick Ross was dropping them self-made projects with Stally. He had Nipsey featured on him. He had Drake, Future, Wale. He even had Kendrick on one of them. Wale, Meek Mill, all them boys, man, on that project. And Self-Made 1, 2, and 3, them classics. Meek and Wale, they was dope together. Wale is one of my favorite artists from that 2010 era. And they back beefing, man. We this is the Pop Shit and Apologize, part 3. They back beefing. They done pop shit before and apologize. Pop shit again, then apologize. But as of recently, when WWE hit last weekend, Meek Mill was photoed with Wale was photoed with one of Meek Mill ops. He said, I ignored this because if it was true, you would be in danger. But now I see you around guys that's on full Meek campaigns. I get you. I wouldn't have did that to you. Made you feel comfortable around my family the other day. That's why you tried to post Mike, but hate me. Y'all see the imagery, man. If you on Apple Podcasts, or you on Spotify, or you on any of the audio platforms, I done stopped uploading the visual versions to those platforms and started uploading just the audio only. Come on over to YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and come check us out. But that was Meek responding to Wale being photoed with the artist from Dream Chasers. Now Wale responds and he says, when you get in other people's unserious drama in this industry, 90% of the time they be back friends eventually. And then you look silly in the end. So I love minding my business. If a photo can create such vitriol, one has to ask himself some questions. Happy Monday. Damn, he took that on a chin, pause, in a positive way. You know what I mean? Unserious drama in the industry. That was very unserious. And like, you know, what I have to say about Meek Mill and all of these tweets and these allegations about him sleeping with Diddy, him beefing with his engineer, he's on a downfall. And when I first started talking about this, I was talking about artists that buy themselves out of contracts and go independent. When you go independent and you don't have that public relations person no more, or you don't have that PR team that can keep you from doing dumb shit and saying dumb shit on Instagram, Twitter, or responding to beefs and all of that, because we got to think about J. Cole also. He has just released himself from Rock Nation and he's on his own. If he was around Jay-Z and he had a PR team and he had people in his ear, he wouldn't have never released that diss track and he wouldn't have never apologized, because you got other people invested in you and you are invested in you. You got to look at yourself as an investment before you start doing dumb shit. And that's real spill. Just my opinion. Now I'm going to play one of my songs of the week and we're going to continue on with the conversation. Thank you.
I ball like Kobe 2-4. Niggas didn't want me to blow. It was all a dream for sure. Now I'm up and not looking back. Did the racks, now it's deposits. Life is good when you have options. Niggas cap, never been popping. The diamonds ain't real, player, just stop it. All we do is the VV. Shine so bright the lanes can't see me. Been notorious, no biggie, did the Louis. Now I'm in Poochie, yo chick a groupie, act unruly. Niggas goofy, always moody. I'm a dog, call me Scooby. To this game, you niggas newbies. At Benny's, I just want sushi. Left the streets when shit got spooky. Kept it real, that was my duty. My team keep Drake's, I told the Uzi. Director of my own movie. Make sure the business runs smoothly. Yours truly been evolved. Beef I had won't be resolved.
I want to finish off the podcast with something that K. Michelle had to say. And I think it's important for men and females to hear this, because like when you get in a relationship, or my perspective of a relationship, I should be able to tell you anything. I should be able to show emotion. I should be able to do things that I normally wouldn't do around other people. Now, women, they want to be protected. They feel some sort of way when a man is soft, or they feel some sort of way when a man isn't aggressive about them. But all of us ain't like that. Now, if you like me and you appreciate me, you should allow me to be me. It's just my point of view. Why can't I be me? But she went viral for saying this, and I'm going to give y'all my point of view of what she had to say about men crying.
Because then I don't feel protected. I would like to be better about that, you know? I do. I think men should be able to cry and be vulnerable. Yeah. But for some reason, once they cry, you know what happens to me? I turn into the man. No, you make my phone like. When they cry, I be like, like that, like.
You know, she said, I want to be better about that. But when men cry, I turn into the man. What happens when you cry? So you don't never cry? Now, my point of view about that is that crying in your presence is better than me letting the emotion out elsewhere. Don't pop shit and apologize, dog. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. Peace, love, plenty of abundance. Make sure you go get you some money, and I'm gone.
The Trevor Jackson Podcast.